Hey, welcome back, YouTube viewers. We're totally haven't been streaming for the last 23 minutes and 9 seconds. So hi. Oh my god. Okay. Welcome to the Hinterlands. So, I just wanted to show this off kind of from the eye perspective here because this is cool. This is the overall airy peak here, as you can see it right here, and I just think this is awesome looking. And I wanted to share that. There's even, again, to show it off to YouTube, there's even a like a launch chute right there that goes straight to where the actual NPC is and where the griffins stay. So this is the Wildhammer Airy Peak, designed after the, I forget the name of the building, in Warcraft 2, which you could actually construct the Griffin Riders from. Fun fact, it has been theorized, and I actually agree, given... Okay, so, for those you're not aware, no and yes, respectively, Magister. So, let me finish my cough drop real quick. I had throat issues earlier. The Alliance barely ran achieved victory in Warcraft 2. And I mean just like this close to total defeat, right? If not for the fact that they were going full tilt and with everything they had and the alliance of so many different races, and if not for the fact that Gul'dan had basically screwed them over completely by chopping the Horde forces in half, the Alliance wouldn't have won. Why do I point that out? Well, admittedly, you could say this about a lot of things, but I like to point out every now and again that without the aid of the Wildhammers and their Griffins, the Alliance would have lost. Now, again, there are several factors in why the Alliance won. By the way, here's the inside. You can see the little nests here on the inside of the bird griffin roost thing. Ah, nice, Dakota. I didn't actually know that. Anywho, so we owe the Wildhammers quite a bit of a debt. The griffins were very useful. I know a great deal about the Shadow Priests mechanically. Why do you ask, little Billy? Little Billy. Alright, so let's rush through this.
What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? Our clan reveres the griffin as a sacred animal. They're majestic creatures of the skies, more than just beasts. They're intelligent, they're cunning. Some say we keep them, but it's more of a friendship. If you want to befriend the Wildhammer here, first befriend our griffins. Take this bag of chow, it's good and fresh. Our trained razor-beak griffins wander the forest to the south of the aviary. Go on and feed a few of them for me, eh?
Be good.
Oh, we do everything we can to protect our kin and our griffins. This includes chasing off the predators, whether they be from the forest or from the Horde. I won't ask you to save us from the mangy two-legged monsters just yet. However, you can go to the south and take out the mangy silvermane. I don't know how to say that word in an accent. And they're known to get in their way if you stray too low. Blah, blah, blah. Go kill wolves.
Safe travels.
Go kill wolves. Forever. Oh wow, Nicolas. That sounds accurate though. So yes, anyway, for those of you not aware, the Wildhammers used to be neutral to the Alliance. Now this actually makes a lot of sense. That's a thing, Bragwin? Like the tweet thing? Also, thank you if you bother doing that. You don't have to, of course. Mind Spike's purpose has changed several times, but its overall purpose is when you don't feel like dotting, when you just want to nuke something down quickly, like trash or whatever. Also, one of the level 100 talents is designed around not being a dot caster. So then Mind... Hey, look, it's the best mount ever. The Mind Spike is more useful. Llama, 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 llama. Llama, llama, llama. Anywho, these aren't actually llamas, but I like saying that word. Yeah, have some food. Enjoy your food. So the Wildhammers, like I said, the Wildhammers were actually really important. to the overall war effort in Warcraft 2. Okay, so I've already mentioned a lot of the backstory of the Wildhammers, the War of the Three Hammers, all that fun stuff. This is where they ended up settling on after the War of the Three Hammers. They left the wetlands area, they left Grimbatol, excuse me, and ended up heading up here. Partially because of everything that happened in Grimbatol, the Wildhammers kind of got a little bit paranoid about enclosed, tight spaces, because Grimbatol was bad, as you might imagine. So instead, they went to the most open area they could. Now they still live in the mountain a little bit, but for the most part, the Wildhammers live out in in the open, in the air, and the sun, and the sky of the Hinterlands, like we are, say, right now. Sort of the nice open foresty area, lots of resources, very valuable. It should be, after all, especially since this used to be troll territory. Now, I know, that's not saying much, because everywhere used to be troll territory. But my point is, when the Wildhammers settled here 230-ish years ago, they found the remains of the Amani tribe, all four of them, actually. Excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. They found 3 tribes of the remaining Amani forces. Now, the Amani, of course, didn't really exist as a power at the time, and in fact, would not until the modern era, when Zul'jin brought them back together for the Zulaman thing, and then the Zandalari brought them back together for the Return of the Trolls. Yeah. But the real important thing to talk about is the Trolls! There's nothing more important to Warcraft than the Trolls. I'm sure some people would agree with that statement without even knowing what the Trolls are, because of the unique purposes of modern internet dialect. Wow, that's a weird sentence to say in Dwarvish. Anyways, but actually, funnily enough, there was no open conflict between the Wildhammer and the 3 tribes here. They were just, they didn't like each other, they were hostile, but they didn't actually do anything to try and fight each other. And that actually makes a degree of sense, because the Wildhammers kept to themselves over here, and the Trolls kept to themselves over here. Now, yeah, I saw that, sure you. Yes, the Griffins live in a forest, that is correct. The Hippogriffs. Or not, these are not Hippogriffs, excuse me, these are Griffins, I'm sorry. The way you spelled it made me think of Hippogriffs. Hippogriffs and Griffins are actually fairly different things in this setting. Both are intelligent, although Griffins are really intelligent. They're kind of like wyverns, as I've mentioned before. They are fiercely intelligent. And I'm stealing Javan's milkshake. Does anyone want some? I've got it. They are fiercely intelligent. And, again, they have their own sense of... Oh, wait, I'm done with the quest. They have their own sense of values and decency, respect, that sort of a thing. The Wildhammer didn't tame them so much as work together with them. Now, the quest taker already actually said that while we were talking to him. He's like, oh, when you're a Wildhammer, you got to work with your Griffins, because they're more like friends, really. I would absolutely be mad enough to do crossbreeding between Griffins and Hippogriffs. I will not get a milkshake. I have too much talking to do today to have sugar on my throat. I have to be super careful about sugar in my throat right now, and have been ever since, the sickness of doom. Oh, much appreciated for getting rid of those wolves.
See you soon.
Treat them with the respect, and they'll treat you with it as well. Give them guff, and you'll be out an eye. We need your help with something more pressing, Deutsch. The Horde's been getting bolder out there. They're moving in on our territory and started attacking us outright. The Raven Tusk Trolls are attacking Stormfarer Outpost in broad daylight. I need you to help out. Talk to Guthrum Thunderfish just outside. He'll put you on the Griffin to store. I already ran all the way there. You don't want to know what my milkshake brings to the yard, little Billy. Hint: it involves undead and nobodies.
Hi. See you soon.
Ugh. Actually, Norlex, I hate to tell you, but... Oh, where is it? I guess I can't see it in the skybox. Oh, whatever. The Wildhammers have kind of been keeping to themselves for a while, with the sole exception of Warcraft 2. As I mentioned, the Wildhammer inclusion to the Alliance effort was invaluable, really. In fact, if for absolutely no other reason, it's likely the Alliance would never have been able to counter the enslaved Red Drakes, if not for the addition of the Wildhammer. It's also worth noting that the vast majority of the dwarven forces that were in... I shouldn't say vast majority. Amongst the dwarven forces that were fighting in the original alliance, the vast majority of those were actually Wildhammer dwarves, more so than Bronzebeards or otherwise. Now, as an asterisk to that, that's because the Bronzebeards, and the gnomes for that matter, were fighting on their own borders, trying to keep Dún Marog out of danger. Although, as we mentioned the other day, Ironforge was never conquered by the demonic horde. In fact, Ironforge was never even reached by the demonic horde. They got, they swarmed around Cosmodon, but never actually got there. Either way, so the Wildhammers, huge, awesome guys, and you'd think, bonds of fellowship forever. Well, no. See, the, yeah, no kidding, Gnarlix. I'm trying to think how to put this as nicely as I possibly can. Let's see, what's the nicest way I could put this? 33 years. God, that sounds horrible, Jay. Why don't I go and read the next quest while I get to that? Because I should just do that anyways. Actually, let me make sure I'm doing these quests. Where's my... There we go. So I need to do... those quests here. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry.
Welcome!
Good to see you out here. Let's get to it.
Keep your feet on the ground.
These Raven-tusk crows think they're special for being in the Horde. Makes me laugh. See, the funny part is, it doesn't matter if they're part of the Horde, or some kind of troll empire, or the Bloody Burning Legion for that matter. We've fought trolls in these lands for centuries now. In fact, I'll be kind enough to let you lend me a hand, to grab a weapon, and go kill the trolls.
See you soon.
As fun as it is to butt heads with the trolls, we've got other things down here. It'd be nice to get this battle over with, aye? Their commander, Gandandra, sits in the ruined walls to the southeast of the battlefield. Our boys have had most of their forces locked up, so I want you to slip in there and take out Gandandra. When you see a dwarf standing over the corpse of the biggest hero, it should take some of the fight out of them.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Great to meet you.
I'm not going to do
Off
those
with
quests.
you.
Those are busybody quests. I'm going to start skipping those in general, unless there's actual lore to discuss, which there is not, as I previously indicated. Ugh. So, let me go and explain why the Wildhammers didn't immediately jump into the new alliance. There really is no nice way to say this. The Scourge. The Scourge rolled over everywhere because I've done the quests, check. And I know what... all I have to do is pick it up to remind myself, be like, oh, okay, I know that quest. In some cases, you have to do the busy quests. In some cases, you don't. Now, I am gambling occasionally, because it's not always obvious which quests are gambling, which not. But I'm actually staring at a quest tree, which I pulled up for Hinterlands, because I wasn't even sure I was going to do the Alliance at all in Hinterlands, because literally, we're going to do like 2 more quests, and then we're done with the Alliance here. But yeah, so the Scourge rolled over the Northern Kingdoms like death, appropriately enough, and they crushed everything. And the Wildhammers were basically at the outer edge of their influence. In fact, the Scourge never actually assaulted the Hinterlands, nor did they assault this region in general. The most they ever got was a few straggling roamers in the area, and that's it. So, they actually deliberately kept themselves out of the fight because they didn't want to be annihilated by the Scourge. On the one hand, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, that's pretty crappy that they did that. Now, I want to stress that that's the Wildhammer organization. There were actually individual Wildhammers who were still like, hey, we're going to go help you because we're not terrible people. But yeah, obviously the exceptions there, not the rules. So once the Scourge finished basically completely destabilizing the entire world forever... you You use your telekinetic powers to reach out into the aether and go back to the future in your TARDIS, and that's how you know, Jay.
Great to meet you.
Not bad for a city-dwelling dwarf. Good show.
Safe travels.
That's what I like to hear. Good on ya.
Keep your feet on the ground.
That's what I thought. Years ago, there used to be a horde base steepled in Skull Rock. It's been abandoned ever since then, but it's still prime territory. We're taken for our allies. The problem is it's full of dwarf-eating slimes and oozes. Those things are a slight less disgusting than trolls, but they'll still give us a hassle. There are boys fighting the Raven Tusk. I want you to go to Skull Rock and clear it out for me.
Safe travels.
The cousin in the Second War. He used to tell me all about when they led a raid on Skull Rock. Swept in and drove the trolls out like rats from a nest. They chased right after him all the way to Alterac. The slimes moved in quite quick after that, and there's still cratefuls of old hoard goods sitting there. I say we don't let the trolls get it back.
See you soon.
See you around, Samurai. Have a good one. Yay, 17 seconds. Oh god, it's the worst mount ever. So yeah, the Wildhammer kind of kept their feet out of things and just were like, leave us alone. And so when the original, when the new alliance, the Grand Alliance, the one as of WoW, got together, they actually reached out to the Wildhammers. The Wildhammers said, we'll get back to you on that. Our people will call you people. Okay, don't call us, we'll call you. They weren't very keen on jumping right back into the fray with the world a mess the way it was. So they actually stayed neutral for a decent period of time, relatively speaking. Now when I say neutral, I want to stress that. I mean neutral. I don't mean hostile. I don't mean friendly. They were not actually a part of the Alliance proper, nor were they actually trying to force, fight against them or anything like that. They were just like, we don't want to have anything to do with any of that. Now, obviously, I could tell you the gameplay reason why the Wildhammer started being part of the Alliance again. See, back in the vanilla, this was actually a reputation faction. One of the original reputation factions ever put into the game, actually. And it was put in pretty much specifically as a test bed for the reputation system. Because the very concept of the reputation system was actually kind of new back in the day. And so they wanted to do something with it. So they were like, alright, we'll have this great place that's all set up to give you all this rep. There's also rep you could get with the Raven Tusk back in the day too, if memory serves. I never did that. Either way, that's the gameplay reason. Once that was no longer needed, they went ahead and just made them, friendly. And in other words, made them actually join the Alliance. Now, I can pretty well extrapolate on the lore reasons behind that, though, because it's pretty linear. The Wildhammers are neutral. We go to Outland. We find Curdin Wildhammer. The Wildhammers join the Alliance. I honestly don't remember, Jay, to be completely blunt. I never bothered even trying. Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure we could get rep with the Raven Tusk too, because I remember trying it and thinking, oh, this is a cool system. And then never actually did anything with it. Jeez, a lot of players today. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Curdin is the specific reason why they went ahead and tossed the Wildhammers into the Alliance formally. And from that point until now, the Wildhammers have been official, formal members of the Alliance. As we've seen Wildhammer as we've been going throughout the quests, of course. And we'll be seeing more of them in the future, too. We'll even be assisting them when we get to the Twilight Highlands. The Alliance will be assisting them in their battle against the idiots. Excuse me, I mean the Dragon Maw orcs. That's actually kind of all I've got for the Wildhammer here. They've kind of been doing their own thing this whole time. And I already kind of shared the major lore points for them, which is good, because I'm almost out of content for the Alliance for this zone. Most of the quests in the Hinterlands are actually neutral or mirrored quests. In other words, same objectives, slightly different quest dialogue, and different quest originator. In fact, this exact quest I'm doing right now was one of those. I'll actually be talking more about the trolls when we actually are doing their quests, because that's how it works. But for now, in the modern era, in the Cataclysm era, post-Cataclysm era, I should say. Well, okay, that's CLI. Let me rewind a little bit here. In the Cataclysm era, the Wildhammers, for the first time in 2 centuries, actually have a say in dwarven politics as a whole, because they actually have one of the 3 seats, the Council of the Three Hammers, led by awesome dude Falstad, I want to say. The catch here is that they were still bickering heavily with everyone. In fact, funnily enough, they were getting along better, or they were being ostracized because the Dark Irons were getting along better with the Bronzebeards than anyone else, and vice versa for that matter. But the trolls. But the Wildhammers weren't getting along with anyone because they weren't really into diplomacy. They weren't really into politics. That wasn't their thing. You go up and you punch someone if you don't like them, and if you do like them, you give them a drink. It's a really simple mindset. It's actually funny to me because it actually fits. It's part of their appeal, I think, for me at least, in the Wildhammers. They have an extremely blunt mindset and view on things. It's also probably one of the reasons why they have eschewed most technological progress, and yet are very skilled at runic magic, and at the same time also have a significant shamanistic presence amongst their people, and have for forever, basically. And furthermore, I've always suspected, based on the way they function, that they are at the very least 1 foot in the door of Druidism, based on how they work with their griffins and whatnot. It's me, Jay. We're not at Pandaria yet, Rory. We haven't gotten there yet. So, I suppose we have all of Pandaria left here. Look, I'll even show you. We've got all of this left to do. And this up here, actually. And unfortunately, we also have this to do. Roll my eyes. Anyways. A dwarf on a raptor is truly a glorious thing.
Well met.
Oh, it's good to see you back, and not missing any limbs.
Safe travels.
Where'd you got the crates? Looks like there's good inside, huh? Is that banana bread? It's still fresh. Here, take your share of the goods. The Raven Tusk. So yeah, we're actually kind of done,
See you
basically,
soon.
at this point, if I'm not mistaken. Give me just a moment to verify. Yep. Yeah, that's it. So, so we're actually done with the Alliance side of here. That was Pandaren stuff, absolutely, but that was not Pandaria stuff. And I'm not trying to pull it technically. That was our Pandaren, the monk we were running around as, not the actual Pandaria continent. Bleh, I can talk, I swear.
What's be on your mind?
You be a turtle out there, not like the others. She be Gamarita, leader of the saltwater snapjaws, a downright dirty thief and reptile. Mon, she stole my best lure, stopped it right off me line. Since then, the fish just ain't biting the same. Find Gamarita, get my lure out of her stomach.
Stay away from the voodoo.
So this is Raven Tusk Village. I actually have more to talk about here than I do the Wildhammers, and I feel really bad about that. But it's kind of interesting.
Hey there.
And it's on the right. What's that one? Many brave trolls have been lost to the harsh wilds of the Hinterlands. The Silverman Wolves are one of the biggest threats to our hunters. Actually, because we're on kind of a timer, I'm going to pick up all the quests and then read them as we go.
Hey there. Bye-bye now.
As of Cataclysm, yes, the one. They didn't used to be. These trolls... That is correct, Gnarlix. These trolls used to be friendly. Well, they used to have relations. Yes, that's an ogre. They used to have relations with the Horde, which I'll talk about when we get there. But that was basically it. They were not actually part of the Horde. Now they are actually a part of the Horde. Okay, so welcome to the village.
See ya later.
There we go. Now...
Talk to me.
Yeah, no.
Hurry back.
Busy quest. Alright, Raven Tusk. So the Raven Tusk, okay. There were 3 troll tribes I mentioned. The Trolls! The 3 trolls of the Amani. 3 tribes of the Amani people. Forest trolls is what they're called. I don't know if you noticed, but they're a lot bigger and bulkier than they otherwise look. Than the other trolls tend to look. In the most recent Horde Alliance, no. Although one almost did, Jay. So, there was the Vile Branch. Now, the Vile Branch are the... Hang on, let me think. Actually, I'm getting them screwed up, actually. These are the Vile Branch. So, the Witherfang, excuse me, who we've already actually encountered some of, they started coordinating with some of the ogres to the south of here. They didn't really have much going for them other than their alchemy. They were like, oh, we got the alchemy, man. With our alchemy, we will be crushing all the things in our path. And they were pretty decent in regards to how they technologically advanced. The Vile Branch were the most prolific. There were most of them. They had the biggest army. They had the most territory. You know, that kind of a thing. They're the ones who were centered in Hinterlands, right here. And again, the major establishment of troll power within this region. Then there's the Raven Tusk, the guys we just talked to. Now, the Raven Tusk didn't have the technological or magical know-how of, well, the other two in general. They didn't have anything going for them. They didn't have the military, they didn't have the people, they didn't have the magic, they didn't have the power, they didn't have any military. They were the worst of the three tribes by far, which was interesting because it generated a weird circumstance. What happened was the Raven Tusk actually learned to negotiate. Isn't that wild? In the absence of all other advantages, the one thing they realized they could do was talk their way through situations. So they got really good at discussing and working and diplomatizing and otherwise negotiating with all the other powers within the area, including the Wildhammer. And that was how they actually managed to maintain themselves without being completely crushed or absorbed by the Vile Branch or the Witherfang. Oh my god! It's a Vile Branch, and she's dead. It's okay, I got her lunch. She'd be dead, Mom. Yeah, I know, right, Javan? Isn't that cool? So these diplomatic trolls, basically by sheer happenstance, when the Horde, the new Horde under Thrall, so this is like right before Vanilla, they reached out to here, and they landed on the eastern coast. And the Raven Tusk, which you'll note, they have like no territory down there. This is all they've got. The Raven Tusk were the ones they happened to encounter, so Thrall's like, we would like to join with you. I can't do a Thrall voice, but we would like to join with you, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, congrats, Kemek. At least I think. If that's a good thing. I don't know. The Raven Tusk, of course, being the diplomatic trolls, were more well-learned and more fluid of speech, and generally impressed Thrall, and were impressed by Thrall. Now, I don't wish to disparage orcs, but most orcs overall don't really value intellectual pursuits. Or to explain what I mean that little bit, it's not that they don't value intellectual pursuits. Orcs aren't stupid, but they are uncouth. They don't place value in things like negotiation, in presentation, appearance, smell. You know, they don't... So they make bad diplomats, is what I'm trying to say. But Thrall, he was versed in all of that, so he was well-spoken. So he knew how to present himself. And these trolls were well-spoken and knew how to present themselves. They had high charisma, to put it into D&D stats. And so the two actually hit it off fairly well. In fact, the only thing that prevented the Raven Tusk was from flat-out joining the Horde right then and there was they were really scared about this being an organization called the Horde. Remember, at this point in history, as of this point, there had only ever been two Hordes. The Horde, a.k.a. the Demonic Horde, and the Horde, a.k.a. the real Horde, our Horde. And so, I shouldn't actually be turning these questions. It was very understandable why they were like, whoa, okay, we really don't want to get involved with that again. We know exactly how bad the Demonic Horde was, and we don't want to have anything to do with that. Can we just leave that over there, away from us? Now, you might be like, well, how would they know about the Demonic Horde? Well, all three of these tribes in this zone were, in fact, the four tribes of the Amani, this also includes the Amani themselves, are the four tribes that joined the Demonic Horde back in Warcraft 2. So they actually fought alongside the... Yeah, pretty much Mind Blast. So they actually knew about how bad the demonic horde was from first-hand experience. Now, the Vile branch and the Witherfang, they didn't care. Do all sorts of evil things, sure, whatever. But as we've already discussed, the Raven Tusk were, again, for lack of a better word, more sophisticated, had charisma. And when you form that sort of culture over the course of several years, it gets to the point where you don't really want a massive conquering demonic force to be allied with. That tends to be against your overall approach to society, you know what I mean? So yeah, the Raven Tusk said, yeah, we'll let you make port here. We'll let you use our port. In civilization terms, they gave them the "we can move through your territories" treaty. And then they're like, okay. Were the Smolderthorn part of the Horde? I'm not sure, Zawan. Although it would make sense if they were, but I don't recall any mentioning of them. The other four are mentioned specifically. I'm not sure. I'll answer honestly. I'm not sure. Unless I'm just forgetting something, which is totally possible. Either way, as of the more modern era, the Raven Tusk have actually seen what, this is funny, what Thrall's Horde is like, and so they are fully like, okay, you're okay, we would like to formally join the Horde. And now the Raven Tusk, as of Cataclysm, are actually a member of the Horde, which actually means there are 2 troll tribes who are a part of the Horde. Hey, this looks familiar, wasn't I just here? The Darkspear and the Raven Tusk. Now, I find this funny. If you don't understand the significance, look at this troll here. Okay, you see? Okay, that's a bad camera angle. Let me get a better camera angle. Ah, there you go. You notice how he literally has a physically different model from your standard Darkspear troll. People were actually wanting to play as a... These are called forest trolls, by the way. Darkspear are actually jungle trolls. But these are forest trolls. And yeah, they're a much bigger and much deadlier. Amani trolls in general have always been the most individually strong trolls. I actually mentioned that when we were reading the book, too. We were discussing how the Amani took down one of the Cathraxi in the way long ago. Oh my god, Bragwin. Go, quick, rush with her. Or if you're not going, then tell her grats. Don't tell her grats for me, she doesn't know who I am. But that's awesome. At least I think it is. Might be awesome. So a lot of people were like, well, when are we going to be able to play Raven Tusk? Now, I'll go ahead and tell you this right now. We actually can't play Raven Tusk even as of this very moment in time. We've talked a lot about the concept of playing, the other races, sub-races. One of the biggest things that I've heard about that, actually, believe it or not, at least over here on the Horde side, is being able to play as forest trolls. Because forest trolls are actually part of the Horde. Like, no additional lore is required. They are members of the Horde right now. So, God, technically, we should be able to play as them. That's not a big deal, really, when you think about it. They'd have to do the update to their models in order to make it work, but still. Of course, I also wouldn't mind being able to play as a Faraki or a Jakari troll, but you get the idea. There was also originally going to be a battleground. Now, a battleground was eventually made. Believe it or not, I actually don't know anything about it because I've never done it. There was a battleground that was going to be made, that was going to be set in the Hinterlands, that they talked about many, many times, and it was rumored for forever, and the devs kept talking about it. It was going to be the Raven Tusk versus the Wildhammer, basically. Now, the really screwed up thing about this is that this was basically a proxy war. The Wildhammers aren't actually that much of a force by themselves. I mean, no offense to the Wildhammers, because they're awesome groups. But they're not that much of a military power, by themselves, right? And the Raven Tusk, if you were paying attention to anything I just told you about the Raven Tusk, are definitely not a military power on their own right. What was effectively going to be happening was the Alliance and the Horde were... Remember, this was back before Cataclysm, when war was actually declared. So they were... Damn it, Jay. So they were not actually in conflict with each other, not in actual state of war with each other. So...
Be on your mind.
Come on, be buffed. Oh, you're a hexer, I can't... Damn it. Troll lore is fascinating, and I have to admit, I have always liked the trolls and troll lore in this game. It's fascinating to me that they take a race called trolls, who in most fiction are non-entities in the lore, and then make them one of the most critical aspects of the entire story of the setting. I really like what they did with trolls. Anyways, so yeah, the Alliance and the Horde were going to be fighting through these proxy battles. This is exactly what a proxy battle means. Rather than directly fighting you, I am going to empower someone who is allied with us, who is going to fight someone who is allied with you. Now, eventually, like I said, they did finally make a battleground for that called the Highland Peaks of blah 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 or something. Like I said, I've literally never even done it, so I don't know what it is actually called. But yeah, we never actually got that thing, and eventually it just kind of dissolved. And sadly, the Hinterlands have never really actually been that significant to the overall plot of Warcraft. Other than the obvious, wonderful background flavor lore and whatnot, they have going through this area. And there is quite a bit of lore to this zone, as I'm discussing with you right now. I haven't stopped talking since we got here. The only significant plot event that's ever happened is right up here. You see this tree? This is one of those 4 trees that Fandral Staghelm grew all the way back in the long, long ago in order to try and get rid of the Serenite that was growing up all over the place, and one of the trees that enabled Yogg-Saron to reach into the Emerald Nightmare, into the Emerald Dream to create the Emerald Nightmare, and was also where one of the Emerald Dragon boss fights was. That's kind of it. Ow. Ah, crap. Oh, yep. I realized just as I was falling. It's okay. I know where the place. This place. So let me explain really, really quick before I read these quests. One of the other reasons why this place sucked to quest in back in vanilla. I want you to picture this. Here is the Horde questing zone. There's a path up this cliff. There's actually 2 paths, but whatever. And so it's like, all right, go here, and then 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 do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. You've noticed this is a problem with a lot of vanilla zones. Go all the way across the zone, and well, at this point you would at least have a level 40 mount, most likely. So you have a slow mount, and you're crossing an entire zone every time you turn in a quest. Oh, it got old. Anyways, let's read the quest we just did really quick. We've been trying to take out the commander of the Wildhammer encroaching on our lands, but we haven't had no luck. Thorna Thunderclash sits on the command post, his voice booming across the battlefield to rally the dwarves. We're thinking he needs to be quieted. Cut Thorna down and we can claim the rest of this skirmish with no problem. You are correct, Madeira, and it was actually cleaned up by the tree. The Horde has done much for us, Reventusk, and we don't freeloaders. With the other forest troll tribes pushed back, we're striking out to claim more land in the name of the Horde. But now in Wildhammer, dwarves are getting in our way. If it's war they want, it's war they get. And I don't plan to lose to a war to a creature half my height. Get out there and kill me some dwarves. So we killed some dwarves. But then there was an ogre.
Lord was having special lunch spot, a picnic, when ugly mean Vilebranch hit Lord with big stick. Lord run back to Reventusk, but forgot Lord lunch. Lord hungry. Maybe you'll go back to secret special spot. Get Lord lunch, please.
That's Lard, by the way. He's an ogre. The forest trolls in general have actually gotten along with the ogres pretty much ever since they were first brought here by Gul'dan. I don't really have a reason why for that. It's just true. And it's interesting in its own right that they just kind of get along. Maybe it's because they're both strong races? I don't know. What else do we do? I already read that one. Our soldiers are at the fighting hard to kill them nasty Wildhammer dwarves, so we can be safe back here at the village. It's only right we do what we can to support them. A good beats what every troll needs to do his best in a fight. The pounding rhythm of the drums, driving you to hit harder, calling the spirits to watch over you. Take my drums to the battlefield with ya. Play them for our warriors and show them to Wildhammer who owns these lands. Not anymore, Sonic Doctor. I have not for many years.
You come get the voodoo.
Fishing's just so pleasant, man, you know? I owe my state of bliss to my own mentor, the greatest angler of the whole world, Nat Pager. You ever heard of him, Mom? If you be looking for enlightenment, Nat Pager will be the one who's going to show you the way. Did you get it yet? Ah, mon, this is fantastic. With me best lure and the snapshot population down, the fish will pile up.
Be seeing ya.
That's true, Sonic.
Hello, man.
Yep. Among the more ornery of the wildlife in the hinterlands are the savage owl beasts. Many a good raven tusk warrior has been lost to the ferocious claws and beak of the beasts. Kill every savage owl beast you see, undead. Return to me when you can stand, no more bloodshed. Your contribution will be weighed, measured, and judged.
Be seeing ya.
What you looking for?
Yeah, makes all the difference in the word, doesn't it? I teach those dwarves a lesson.
Be good.
Filthy, stinking dwarves. I kill 2 dwarves in the morning, and I kill 2 dwarves at night. I'll stop singing the song now. Dwarves. Oh, hang on. Scroll up. Do you think there'll ever be peace between the Horde and the Alliance in the WoW games? Okay, so one of the common threads of the story, and I mean from Warcraft 3 into Frozen Throne, into Vanilla, in BC, in Wrath, in Kata, in Pandaria, and in Warlords has been, maybe we should be at peace with each other. And circumstances keep getting in the way of us actually being united as a people. But I gotta be honest, if we're not united in Legion, nothing ever will be. Oh yeah, I lost my imp because I died. Sturgis, tell her.
Relax.
Sorry, I missed your question. I never ignore a question unless it's a really dumb question. So I just missed it. Sorry, Eru. That'll show the Wildhammer to stay away from these lands. Crazy dwarves should have stayed in the mountains.
Later. See ya later.
Yeah, so
Okie
the same damn quests we just
seeing
did
ya.
on the Alliance. High Elves is another interesting example, by the way, of a race that
Time
probably
is money, friend.
should be playable, because they already, like the Raven Tusk, they actually are a part of the Alliance.
I'm listening.
I've become very interested in the slimes inhabiting Skull
Victory
Rock.
for Sylvanus.
No matter how many times they're cleared out, they seem to return. Whoa! Yet it doesn't seem they're capable of reproducing from a single slime. I think something's growing in there, from a source where all slimes come from. And I want a sample to study it. Oh, but hey, what's up? I got you some food.
Oh, Lord, so hungry. Oh, this hit the spot. Thanks, little one. Lord, make you special picnic basket.
Must we talk about them? See, before we talk about the Forsaken here, because we're not actually there yet. So, I just want to say I'm totally in favor of most of what the Horde is doing here and the Hinterlands. I mean that seriously. Basically, what's happening here is the Horde is so. Like I said, the Raven Tusk are formally joined the Horde. The Horde have been backing the Raven Tusk, and the Raven Tusk have been pushing out the Vile Branch, or excuse me, the Vile Branch. No, this is right. The Vile Branch and the Witherbark troll tribes out of the Hinterlands, right? Just pushing them out. Now, funnily enough, the Alliance is also supporting the Wildhammer to push out those 2 troll tribes. Ironically, this would actually be a great moment of unification between the 2 sides if you know, in Fantasyland where that could actually happen. Regardless, though, I'm totally with that. You know, the Horde gaining the Hinterlands would be a huge boon to the Horde. And even if we didn't get all of it, we should at least be able to help our Raven Tusk allies out. Because, as I said, they're probably some of the best overall trolls around, with the exception of the Darkspear. And having them as, you know, as part of a we're gonna kill the world team is a great idea. In fact, point of note, the Raven Tusk are one of 2 troll groups in the world that did not join the Zandalari when they made their call to the new Troll Empire in patch 4.1. Think about that for a moment. Seriously, think about that. Oh yeah, he gave me hollow wing bones in his picnic basket. I think he already ate the meat off of them. Anyways, so I mean, just okay. So whatever. That's all good and fine. I'm totally cool with the Wildhammers and the Raventusks sharing the Hinterlands and getting rid of the evil trolls. I am totally cool with that. However, there is one flaw to that, but we won't talk about it this very second because I want to answer Jay's question. Advice for playing a Forsaken. Try to remember that you died. I know that sounds like a duh, but seriously, try to actually picture the trauma and horror and how devastating it would be to your mindset to die. Now imagine you're back up, but you're a walking corpse. One of the first things I ever think of when I'm trying to make a Forsaken character is, why is it that they are not completely gibberingly insane? You know, what is it that makes them keep going? What is it that allows them to function, rather than to be like... which is technically what they should be doing, especially if it was me in real life. I'd probably go completely stark raving mad if that happened to me in real life. I do not have a strong sense of self, or sense of stability, I guess I should say. Emotional stability, what do you want to call that? I don't react to trauma that well. Second thing I want to give you advice on is the fact that you have to understand the Forsaken are extremely pragmatic at best. Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. Most Forsaken are just dulled and jaded. Then there's the pragmatic Forsaken, which lean towards the good. Then there are a very small number of good Forsaken. And then there are, of course, the... no, I want to be dead little bit. There's a little bit difference. And then, of course, there are the evil Forsaken. And with that wonderful segue... so the Forsaken are in the Hinterlands. I want to stress, this place is basically one of the last refuges? Refuge? I'm not sure how to say that word. One of the last bastions of decency in the world. I don't mean like in terms of people. I mean, this place was relatively untouched by the Cataclysm. In fact, in terms of physical geological damage, this place was literally untouched by the Cataclysm. This is a vast forest with lots of green, lush terrain. This place is a freaking paradise compared to so many places in the world. This is a bountiful land. This is a land that should be preserved and utilized properly and carefully to ensure that it doesn't get lost like so many others have. The goblins should never be in the Hinterlands, is what I'm trying to say. Or the gnomes, to be blunt. So the Forsaken are here. The Forsaken. You remember South Shore, right? The place that, based on all of our efforts, might be inhabitable in 100 years. I mean, like I said, the Hinterlands is kind of weird. Because on the one hand, I am totally with both the Wildhammer and the Raventusk expanding into the rest of the zone and trying to push out the remains of the old trolls, the old forest trolls, namely the Vile Branch, and the Witherfang. Right? Both of them are bastards. Both of them are still fairly evil groups of trolls who were totally cool with joining with the other troll groups and totally okay with, you know, ritualistically sacrificing people and murdering people and taking what they want and stealing and pillaging and otherwise being terrible groups of people. So pushing them out of here, reestablishing some kind of solidarity and order, harvesting the great bounty of the zone without destroying it, I'm totally with all of that. What the hell are the Forsaken doing here? But of course, it's not that easy. I mean, it never is, right? Oh, by the way, someone asked earlier how I could tell if I'm fel-infused. This is me at full demonic power. Literally, it's vibrating off of me, the amount of demonic power I'm channeling right now. Whoops, I didn't actually mean to do that. Sorry. So you might wonder why this place is so camped. There's a pet you can get here. And it's kind of a rare drop, and that's probably why it's so camped. Yeah, no kidding, Jay. You won't get that opportunity again until, honestly, I think the Twilight Highlands will be the next major troll zone. Oh, no. Yes, yes. That'll be the next major troll zone. Then there's actually a troll patch, which we'll be covering. Yeah. You know what, Zawan? Permission granted. And if you're paying attention, that is the first time I have answered that question with the answer, yes. Just frickin' do it. Get rid of them. God, get out of here. Throw that awesome mom. We gonna bury you here. You stay for as long as you like. You know one of the things I liked playing about a hunter back in the day? When you run up onto a node, like a mining node or whatever, to harvest it, your pet could keep things off of you long enough for you to actually be able to mine it. But we'll actually see what the Forsaken are up to in a very up-close and personal manner, because we'll help them do it. Well, all these guys are waiting for the boss, aren't they? What do you think, guys? Should I try to be a dick and tag it? Because I could totally do that. I'm good at tagging. Or do you think I should be nice and just leave and give up on the quest? What do you think I should do, guys? The choice is yours. No, I would totally play as an ogre. I mean, seriously. Who wouldn't play as an ogre? Other than you. Didn't ask you. But the rest of you would all play an ogre, I'm sure. Can pets permanently die? No. No thing, actually, in the game of Warcraft, in the game of WoW, can permanently die. Okay, so... Alliance, Alliance, Alliance. Alliance. Ogre Paladin? I'm with it. Especially since the ogres, A, do have the ability to cast, use the light. We've actually seen that. And B, are not stupid. Well, I don't think we have to do this quest to advance. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of abandon it. Then again, this might lead to the Forsaken quest. An Ogre Magi would be cool. If they allow you to play ogres, I really hope they allow us to play, like as an option, the two-headed variety. Because that would be what we in the business call cool. I don't mean like different gameplay or anything, just it would be nice to be able to choose that as an aesthetic option. And then have like the helmet you're wearing be on both helms. Well, I'm almost positive this is the quest that leads to the Forsaken quests. So let me just go ahead and look up here. Oh, I'm wrong. It isn't. We can safely skip it. Be free, Mr. Alliances. Just in case I'll keep the quest. In case I'm wrong or Wowhead's wrong, but yay. Yeah, well, no, that's not true, Magister. Stonewall does have smart ogres. At least two of them. One, the very intelligent ogre, who is fully well-versed and well-learned in the Dustwallow Marsh place. And the other ogre who, while not super intelligent, is at least smart back in Dustwallow Marsh. See you around, Takoda. Oh, there's also the Warlock Boulder Fist in Feralos. So that's 3 intelligent Boulder Fist. That's enough to justify playing an ogre playable class, right? You know, the funny thing is, Jay, that would actually that would totally be what Garrosh would say. I'm not in STO right now. I haven't been in STO since this morning, Spirit. Like hours and hours and hours ago. But hi, what's up? Now I'm torn. Okay, question, guys. If you can play... if you could play an ogre, and you can make it any class, total restriction removal on classes, What ogre class would you want to play most? And I already know my answer right off the top of my head, because I just really like the idea a lot. You're all going to make fun of me for it, but that's okay. I mean this sincerely. I'm not trying to joke or anything like that. Ogre Warrior is rather logical choice, let's be honest. Especially if the weapons scale to size, which they should. BAM! Demon Hunter. Warlock would be interesting. Hunter would be kind of cool. Demon Hunter. Mage. Yeah. Ogre Rogue. You know, a lot of people would roll those. Mage, Warlock. I'm surprised no one said my pick yet. I'd be an Ogre Monk. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome. Giant keg of beer. BAM! Right on someone's face. There we go. So,
How you doing, man?
a kid, the Boomkins, you're proving your worthy ally of the Raven Tusk to Spire. Well done.
Okie dokie.
What, Chalvin? Seriously? What, King Garion? It would be awesome.
What you want?
Good to see you back. Not missing any limbs, either.
Later. How you
That's
doing,
like the same
man?
freaking turn-in quests from the other side. We got more to deal with than just dwarves, man. While I watch the village, my mate, Primal Torntusk, has gone to lead our warriors against a wicked fire branch. They've killed our brothers, and I was even taken prisoner by them once. No more. This time, the city of Jintalor falls to us. Go to Jintalor. Speak with my mate. She's in captured camp near the entrance to the city.
Be seeing ya.
Guildbank Ninja People. You're going to have to elaborate a little bit, Charlord. No quest to go to Hirawatha. I have tried to pronounce Javan's name properly, and I have failed, to my shame. So I keep calling him Javan to shame myself. Oh! No, Charlord. That hasn't been an issue since, like, Wrath, I want to say. I mean, I've seen that happen. That's never happened to any of my guilds, but yeah. I was going to talk about something. Oh yeah, back in Vanilla, there were quests in Jinthalor as well. By the way, it's actually Jinthalor, but I don't feel like adding the So, Jinthalor. This is Jinthalor, like I said. Home of the Vile Branch, center of power in this region, basically. These guys are not nice. They're some of the more vicious, brutal variety of trolls that you tend to encounter. These, so... they just need to lock down their guild banks. I do that too. You have no access to my guild bank unless I let you do it. But anyways, so... back in Vanilla, there was a quest chain to go up here and save the guy who just gave us the quest right now to go here. The person who gave that quest was actually his wife. Her.
How you doing,
The one we are now here to go wipe this place out on. The idea was that we didn't actually wipe Jinthalor out last time. We basically staged a raid, saved him, and got the hell out of Dodge. There were a few other quests, but that was the primary point. Now, however, now we're going to bring Jinthalor to the ground. It's time the Vile Branch stop existing.
How are ya? Stay away from the voodoo.
Today we make the first strike at the heart of the savage Vile Branch tribe. Show no mercy, Despire. This is no longer just a spat between trolls. Every victory of the Raven Tusk is a victory for the Horde. The Vile Branch headhunters and witch doctors will be the first to go. Make your strike against the lower terraces. Report back to me with your bloodied weapon.
Be seeing ya.
Umboda of the Vile Branch is one of the strongest warriors and a sick butcher. He takes the heads of all he slays as trinkets, rewards, even weapons. It's his turn to be taken. Find on board our 3 heads, slay him, and bring me his head. We'll see how the Vile Branch fight when we throw it back over their walls.
Bye-bye now.
What you want?
The Vile Branch have hung their tiki masks all up the walls of Hinterlands. The spirit's not going to be watching over them for much longer. Take this torch with you as you fight through the Vile Branch. Set fire to their tiki masks. I'll be watching from here as their wards and hexes fade away and the heretical dark voodoo goes up in smoke.
See ya later.
What is it?
A moment if you're going up there, Warlock. I've got a few brokers quite interested in potent toxins. I couldn't help but notice the spiders scurrying around near here. No, not the giant ones. The ones about the size of your hand. The skitterlings are a hue I've never seen before in this area. Could you collect a few of them and bring them back?
Our time will come.
Sure, I'll bring you not giant spiders. They're only about this big. I know. In a setting where spiders are literally the size of a car. Sigh. It's time for the Jintalord to die. See, you know, Zawan, I'd be on your side on this one, but I have to be honest. I know you well enough to know that you'd be like, alright, now that we've wiped out all the Forsaken, it's time to kill the trolls! You know, the Raven Tusk. And I'd be like, ugh. Well, let's see. Here's a hand. Yes, I know, Psychotic. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. For those of you not aware, one of those giant car-sized spiders... Okay, car is a little bit of an exaggeration. Like, I don't know. I don't have a good comparison. Cow-size? No, a little bigger than that. Like buffalo-size, maybe? Anyways. One of the large spiders back in Loch Modan actually made its way into one of the dwarves' houses while he slept. You'll let them live. How nice of you. And actually, Darchmonster, yes, that is correct. They, those masks, well, okay, the masks can actually be several things. We've already pointed out the tiki things, which is basically bound souls. I don't think that's these, though. These aren't those kind of things. These are just the more ritualistic connections with the Loa masks. So your statement is actually totally accurate. We are basically pissing off the Vile Branch Loa here. However, that's not uncommon amongst the way that the trolls in general operate in inter-troll warfare. Generally, trolls tend to be antagonistic towards other trolls' Loa because their Loa are antagonistic towards the other trolls' Loa. So if they want to retain the favor of the Loa who support them, they usually need to actively go against the Loa who support their enemies. Make sense? So this actually makes a lot of sense diplomatically speaking. God damn it. Diplomatically speaking for the Raven Tusk. Damn it, Jay. The good news is very soon we'll run out of Troll Lord to talk about. And then there'll be no more voodoo. No more Wildhammer either. I wish I had more to say about the Wildhammer, because they're really awesome people. It's just I don't have a lot to say about them. Also, apparently that Overwatch short came out today. Yeah, basically, yes, Starch. That is actually fairly accurate of what's going on here. The Loa like to fight their proxy wars. Very few Loa are brave enough to actually fight other Loa themselves. Car! Oh, excuse me. Seriously, Hakar is one of the very few Loa who actively goes out of his way to try and subjugate, bind, and kill other Loa on a regular basis. So in case you're wondering why he's called Three Heads, it's hard to see, but the maces he's wielding are sticks with heads at the end of them. So we're going to rip his head off there. That really is just the solution in WoW to everything, isn't it? Go rip their heads off. I like to think that by the time we're like level 40 at least, for last year, Eru, not for this year. I actually covered BlizzCon last year. But I like to think that the player character is like really accustomed to ripping and cutting people's heads off by the time they get to, you know, whatever level. Just because they do it so much, you know? Well, actually, given the way the trolls work, I don't want to stress this, it wouldn't actually surprise me if wielding someone's head as a weapon literally made it stronger because of the magic that would be empowered on that. Literally, if you could picture it this way, imagine that mace is powered by the soul of the person whose head it used to belong to. And if that doesn't horrify you, then I'm not doing my job properly. Damn it. Ugh. We have a little bit of competition from other players. Hashtag. Oh, I forgot to mention the soul is probably aware of the fact that it's being bled off to be a weapon. So that's relevant to that. Trolls, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it is, isn't it, Darsh? Really, it really is. Yes, that's right. We found another form of the afterlife in Warcraft, being used as a troll weapon, and that is in no way is that a joke. Even ignoring the maces, trolls actually do use other people's souls as weapons regularly. I mean, we went through Zul'Aman. We talked about it there. Come on. Oh, hang on. You need a new hashtag, Zuan. One more. Or, come on, one more. Or, just one more. Something along those lines. Oh god, a troll warlock. Yeah, I got this, man. You're using tons of fell power. Are you okay? Yeah, it's no problem. I just killed 15 people. I'm all good with it now. 15? Yeah, that should catch me until tomorrow afternoon. Cast. Oh my god. I am a little amazed the Burning Legion has never gone out of its way to try and forcibly corrupt or recruit trolls. Seriously. I mean, Nethrezim are their own special kind of horrible, but trolls in the Legion? Now, not all trolls do that. So... You know how we did that quest earlier to empower some of our allies, our troll allies, with war drums? Well, so it turns out that, you know how I mentioned because of the nature of their magic, if they use someone's head as a weapon, it'll literally be effective because their soul is empowering it? Try to imagine your soul is empowering a drum made out of your skin. And, that's a thing. Now, I don't actually think the Raven Tusk do that. I could be wrong. Oh, no! Let's get it! Get it! Yay, I'm safe. But, but that is a thing trolls do. That's true, Darsh. And Sargeras is not actually known for his tactical prowess. I mean, how many millennia did it take him to realize that he was fighting the same demons over and over? And then even longer to figure out how to kill them permanently? I mean, jeez, dude. He could have killed them all permanently instead of just locking them away in Mardoom. Of course, then we would have no Burning Legion, and that would change history forever in a really, really big way. I think I'd be okay with the universe with no Burning Legion. But yeah, so we've seen several creatures that are fell. You know, we've seen fell elves, we've seen fell orcs, we've seen what fell does to night elves. Damn it. Yeah, you got... Up. Yes, he didn't get it. Ugh. What we have not seen, though... Well, there's several races we haven't seen fell of, but fell trolls. I feel like I already answered that question, Zoan. I just assumed you... A troll warlock would be super effective, dude. Super effective. Insert joke. I'm not good with humor. What do you want from me? Yeah, no kidding, Dirge. Alright, so...
What now?
How many did you get? Oh, I was wise to ask you to get me this. How fascinating. Come here, my pretties. Into the bag you go. The Vile Branch here used to drink... Actually, I'm going to skip ahead because I want to stay ahead of the other players.
Talk to me.
We're done. Did these Vile Branch fear and terror from the sight of you?
Okay. Hey there.
Let's see his head. The look of fear and confusion on his face. This is what he deserved. Let's make sure all the Vile Branch wear the same
You
robe.
be careful, man.
Who you be?
Such a pretty sight to see the enemy's hopes burning.
Seeing ya.
Ha ha ha! Get a nice picture of Jinthalor over here, really quick. Yeah, I was picturing Fell Human, and I imagine it would actually look a lot the same as Fell Elf, just not as cool. So, you won't be giving them a chance to react. You must re-enter Jinthalor and charge all the way to the upper tiers. The Vile-Branch Berserkers and Shadowcasters are dangerous enemies. When the others see their bodies thrown down the walls, they know we mean business. The Vile-Branch Trolls here used to drink the corrupted blood of the Hogod Hikar himself for power. They boiled it down in crude pots before drinking dark vessels of unholy strength. Hakar was killed long ago, of course, but the interesting thing, I still see some cauldrons bubbling up there. Bring me a few and we'll see just what they got cooking. Well, it's war. Tag war! I'm a warlock, which means I automatically win. Isn't that how that works? Wait, I'm the horde, so I automatically win. I do have to admit, I would kind of like to see some of the really good, talented artists that work at Blizzard. Just do some concept art. Like, okay, I want you to imagine a fell goblin. I want you to imagine a fell human. I want you to imagine a fell troll. A fell tauren. You know, I just want to see what they'd come up with, design-wise. You know what I mean? For the record, like I said, these quests are basically mirrored for the Alliance. So instead of helping the Forsaken... Well, that's not true. Instead of helping the Raven Tusk to crawl up Jinthalor and wipe out the Vile Branch, we're helping the Wildhammers to do the exact same thing. Actually, I was kind of picturing a Fell Tauren looking kind of similar to the tank form of Demon Hunters in general. Also, just occurred to me, we've actually seen two forms of Night Elf, Fell Night Elves. Yeah, we're already done with those, wow. We've seen Illidan. Best mount ever. I'm kidding. And we've also seen Satyrs. Because Satyrs are Fell Elves. Probably one of the most severely changed of the races, actually. Fell Orcs are minute differences by contrast. Also, I've always liked this architectural style, the tiered staircase style. There's probably a proper term for it that I, of course, don't know because I am a moron. But I do like this overall approach to architecture. And I like most of the troll things like that. I mentioned that when we were going through Zul'Darak as well. Excuse me. Naga are night elves who have been horrifically warped and mutated by, we assume, the old gods. I have to add that we assume because it wasn't mentioned in the book. Now, in fairness, that kind of makes sense. That doesn't mean it's been retconned. It just means, you know, it wasn't a big enough event to go into extensive detail on. And that makes sense. I'm with that. Here, kill this thing. Thank you. So yeah, what we're seeing is basically void night elves in those. So, how many expansions till he actually appears? Given that if he appeared, he would quite literally block the sky. At this point, I'm not sure he will appear, as weird as that may sound. Now, the avatar of Sargeras we'll probably see in Legion. In fact, I'd be a little surprised if we didn't see his avatar in Legion. But actually seeing Sargeras himself, that has actually become a little less likely. Oh god, here's the other dumb mount from Warlords. The stupid hippopotamus armored rock thing. I don't even know what to call this. You know, I'll tell you exactly what kind of night elves the Naga are. The playable kind! Right? Right? Yeah, seriously, Darch. I was actually picturing it in my head. What I was picturing, like if I was drawing out, if I had the talent to draw, what a fell troll would look like. It wouldn't look like a troll. It would basically be a new being. Absolutely, little Billy. We totally can do that. You know, the irony is Star Wars could beat Sargeras. I'm totally serious. In case you ever doubt how high tier of a setting Star Wars is, Star Wars could beat Sargeras. I doubt it, Zillon. That would be a hell of a twist, though, wouldn't it? And that would be... I hate myself for saying this because players would hate it. But speaking as a writer, that is a good way to get rid of Sargeras. When you have introduced a villain that vast and that powerful, dealing with it is a major issue from a writing perspective. Like, to explain what I mean a little bit, I actually call this the Borg effect. The Borg are a race I find absolutely wonderfully fascinating. They're probably one of my favorite species in Star Trek. And it's not just because they're big or scary or powerful. It's because the very concept of what they are was so wonderfully alien. It was something new in Star Trek. It was one of the first really new things they really introduced. And there was a lot they could do with that, story-wise. And they did, for that matter, do some really good stuff with the Borg. The problem with the Borg was they were so unique in the way they were strong. Again, it's like the Lich King. The Lich King isn't as raw powerful as, say, Gul'dan, for example. But the Lich King would destroy Gul'dan in a one-on-one fight. Because that's more what because he's that conceptual kind of a thing, rather than a literal, functional, broadcast kind of power. So, the Borg don't actually have that much broadcast power. They're not just, oh, we walk in and destroy you. It's the nature of their assimilation and their adaptation that makes them so strong. But getting back to my point. The point is, the Borg were a huge problem from the writers because they had to try and come out with some way for them to not win and for them to lose. Now, they have accomplished this several times, and they have failed at this several times. But we have the exact same problem with Sargeras. We have introduced an enemy who is literally the size of a planet, who, if he ever reaches us, will win. Because we know he can destroy a planet in one shot. He's done it before. So if he ever actually physically reaches us, like he almost did on the War of the Ancients, it's over. We have lost. When you introduce a villain that is that unassailable, you need to have some way to deal with it. Now, the funny thing is, we already talked about the best way to deal... Well, one of the ways... I shouldn't say the best way. One of the ways that we were talking about earlier that we could actually do to get rid of him. He could kill himself. He could burn himself out. We force him to use so much fel energy and so much fel power that he finally goes through his massive reservoirs of life energy, and he kills himself by overusage of fel magic. I gotta be honest, there are not many other ways I've come up with off the top of my head to deal with the Sargeras problem.
I have exactly what you need.
One of the other ways I've thought of to deal with it I hate, which is to say Elune goes and takes on Sargeras. And I hate that idea because we die if that happens. Ah, be careful near those cauldrons, Warlock. The Vile Branch won't let you take the retreats without a fight. First the spiders, and now this. I can smell the venom in this blood. It's the same as the skitterlings, but stronger. Vile Branch and spiders, there's a potential here.
Embrace the shadow.
There's more of this curious venom to be had if Shadra's being summoned. Oh, don't look surprised. The Forsaken have studied these lands before, and have encountered the Venom Queen at least once. Her toxins have proven quite useful in the past. They'll prove useful to the Horde once more, too. Be a dear, and fetch me as much poison as you can from the spawn of Shadra, and then kill Gemki. If you guys kill Gemki, I'll give you 35 silver.
Beware the living.
Don't be shy.
It won't be long till we're the only trolls left breeding on these walls. Only the strongest and foulest Vile Branch are left now. The soul eaters and blood drinkers, foul worshippers of an evil god Hakar. They are fools! They cling to the old, defeated beliefs. I won't tolerate their crimes against the Raven Tusk any longer. Strike the final blow. Claim Gentilar for the Raven Tusk. Claim it for the Horde.
Bye-bye now.
Ungolongo was one of us. This is what I'm going to talk about it, by the way, Zoan. What outsiders call a dire troll. But he was a Raven Tusk and a proud warrior like us. Then the Vile Branch took him. They keep him chained up at a pit at the top of the Gentilar, made to dance for their sick amusement. No chains can hold Ungolongo. All you need to do is raise his temper. Fight him till he's enraged enough to remember his true spirit and break free.
Stay away from the voodoo.
And then make sure you get out of his way. Now, the next thing I want you guys to be doing in chat after you kill Gemki is I want you to go kill Kay. Bring me his head. Because apparently that's all we do, is bring their heads around. I mean, seriously. Hang on a second. There. I need to look something up really quick. But I'm pretty sure that I'm right. Farewell, Gemki, we be sparing your life. But in exchange, you'll be part of the Scourge now. And forever. Here we go. Fun. Fun, yes. So, these wonderful little guys. Okay, so, it's time to raise up a distinction. And this is a matter of not just nomenclature, but a matter of definitions. So... Wow, Jovan. Nice. That is one way to deal with it. Have them deal with themselves. In fact, that's actually why the Orcs have not actually won in Warhammer 40k, in my opinion. It's possible, Darshmaster. Anywho, so, nope, wrong way. I want to show you Ungolongo. Because Ungolongo is what we call a dire troll. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the difference between a dire troll and a berserker troll? Believe it or not, it's a huge difference. So, berserker trolls are trolls who have specifically drunk and used some of their troll magic, let's just call it what it is, you know, alchemy and voodoo and eating the souls of the dead, you know, just all sorts of fun, wonderful stuff that trolls like to get up to. And that enables them to be much more powerful and ignore weapons and become engines of death on the battlefield, yada, yada, yada. Those are the majority of the units, the Berserker Trolls, that we used back in Warcraft 2. Not all of them, though. For some reason, they decided to divvy up the Berserker Trolls into Berserker Trolls, as I just described to you, and Dire Trolls. Oh, I don't know, Nicholas. Ask me again in a second. Dire Trolls are actually not quite a different species, so much as a different type of troll. You know how the Raven Tusk are much physically larger than other trolls, like, say, the Jungle Trolls? Well, Dire Trolls can happen amongst any of the tribes. Believe it or not, we don't have a full explanation for how and why they come to be. This, by the way, to give you a little bit of perspective, this is a Dire Troll. This big guy right here. Ooh, hey, what's up, buddy? This is a freaking Dire Troll. As you can see, they are big freaking bastards. Now, from what we've seen of the Dire Trolls, they tend to have much less intellectual capacity than their fellows, and are, of course, way stronger. Practically... Hey, Origin. Practically superhuman, like even by troll standards. Are those? Yep, there's one right there. Now, in the absence of a proper answer, I can give you two speculations as to what the Dire Trolls actually are. Speculation number one. We already know for a fact that the trolls are semi-malleable creatures. Yeah, basically, Venetia. Semi-malleable. I mean, we've seen what arcane energies can do to them. We've seen how they can be warped simply by living in a different location to the point where they're physically distinct with other members of the same race. So... damn it, Javin. So, it's not that out of bounds that occasionally there are just mutants, for lack of a better term, that crop up amongst their people. And these mutants are probably not even an entirely natural thing. Keep in mind how much random stuff the trolls do to themselves. All that soul manipulation, all the continuation of dead, you know, all that fun stuff. Think about all of that. And think about, look how many elves, or imps I've got running around here. Think about all of the things that the trolls do on a regular basis to themselves. Yeah, about that, Nicholas. And, so, yeah, that's my first answer as to what exactly those guys are. My second answer is slightly different. There's one. My second answer is that they are actually a deliberately intentional mutation. That certain members of their people undertake that as a deliberate choice. Like, for example, I'm sure the Raven Tusk would offer that choice, given how much they honor and revere the gentleman we just saved. Or, amongst other trolls, they would force it upon their members, because that's how most troll society tends to go in general. Especially the Zandalari. Those are my speculations. I do not have a concrete answer for exactly what a dire troll is, or why it is. And wow, there's a lot of dead people around here. Holy crap. Look at all these. Man, they sacrificed a lot of their own people around here. I sure hope whatever they were trying to do was worth it. But I do make the distinction between Berserker Trolls and Dire Trolls because Blizzard made the distinction. So I kind of have to now. And Madon does not exist. I don't care what you say. He can't exist. He can't be real. Yeah, I'm not much of a loot person. So I have an ability called Wild Imps. Basically, it summons temporary imps based on a proc. And as they are spawned, they stick around for 11, I want to say, casts? Something like that. Once they have cast 11 spells, they go away. So I have a limited amount of them at any given point in time. See, there's the wild imp, and there's my actual imp on the left. You know what? You're right. Let's let Madon kill Sargeras, and they could, but only if Sargeras kills Madon too. Noble sacrifice. That sounds like proper path for Madon. I'm okay with that. Time for other players to be slowing me down right now. Inventory full. Madon will defeat the Void Lords. No, Norlex. Madon is the Void Lords. By the way, if the player characters end up being the Void Lords, I'm gonna laugh. Damn it, yes, I do, Zoan. I remember when Firestones were a thing, too. And playing a melee warlock was a feasible possibility. With very specific gear. Anyone remember those days? Oh, there it is. Ah! You have uncovered a strange thinger. No, Jay. The Archeangonian does not exist. Someone else. Well, actually, I haven't decided yet. Originally, I had someone else for that particular story. But I have since decided that I haven't decided yet. You have uncovered some sort of strange egg-shaped device made from metal. Fiddling with one of the knobs reveals that I'm going to die because my pet isn't here. There he is. Jeez Louise. Whoops. There we go. Excuse me, my name's Oglethorpe Obnauticus. My homing robot has crashed. I'll reward you for its recovery. Oh, sure, I'll go do that. Well, Gnarlex, it's because I like really complicated names that are too long. See you around, Zoan. It was actually a woman, Jay. Her name was Zanej. But like I said, I haven't decided which one is actually canon in the Imperium yet. I remember when a lot of things in this game required a group. Okay, come on. I need one more. I really do. I need one more. That's actually where I'm at right now. Oh, yes. Quick. Drop it. Drop it. Yeah, there's one in Fairloss, one in Tanaris, and one in Hinterlands. Good night, Great Biotic. Okay, we got it. Yay, we're done. No, Martin wouldn't be an agent. There was a recruit. The Nerevarine was a local recruit of the Bastion. Like what, Kay? Most of my male characters are the ones that are really complicated, like Noxaith. Try and spell Noxaith, would you? So for those of you not aware, I suppose just explain who and what Shadra is. This is another bit of explanation or idea of the fact that the Loa can actually create physical children, for lack of a better term. First of all, because we know they've done that because Cenarius managed it. Second of all, because we've seen... well, there's the Furbogs who came from Ursoc and I forget the other one's name. Kernok or something like that. Anyways, the two Loas of Bear. So that's a thing. There's also these things. So Shadra is the Loa of spiders, or at least Loa of these types of spiders. I'm not sure which exactly. And she has actually crafted her own children, you know, the lesser spiders we've been killing for their venom as we go through here. So, once again, another example of Loa having children. Oh god, it's a creepy crate.
I am forsaken.
How do you have the venom from Shadra? Oh, yes, that old nostalgic smell. You've done well for the Forsaken, and for the Horde.
Dark Lady, watch over
Talk
you.
to me.
I wish I could have been there to see it aspire. I have to hear the story from Ongolongo himself when this is over.
Okay, dokie.
Ah, damn it.
Be seeing ya.
There are none left to oppose the Raven Tusk. Any stragglers will be quickly taken care of. You done me people a great honor to
You
spire.
be careful, man.
You done well cleaving through the warriors. I'd like you to investigate the summit at the Hinterlands. We were prepared for our fiercest battle there, to storm the Dark Altar. But it's too quiet, not a sound. It could be a terrible trap, and someone strong should look into it, instead of us all rushing in. And if it's not a trap, I'm very interested in finding out exactly what happened up there.
Okay, dokie.
Okay, well, let's see what happened up there. Certainly there were no sacrifices or anything like that. Xenastma, by the way, Jay. They probably should Mind Blast. At least to some extent. Let's just start dumping stuff from my inventory here. You know, I have to admit this will be a lot easier with flying just straight up instead of going up the staircase again. This is probably makes this a very defensible position too. Basically, the only one real viable path up. Otherwise, you have to climb up the walls. I imagine climbing up the walls would probably be the method you would try to use when sieging this place, rather than going down the choke points of doom, of which there are several. Well, the quest did mention that these are the children of Shadra, and that their venom is similar to the venom from Shadra. The rest is interpretation of that. I mean, duh, right? However, the fact that Cenarius and had his Loa children, see you around, Eru, and the Ursoc had their Loa children, that is stated directly, somewhere in quests, somewhere in the books. It's stated a few times in the WoW Chronicles book. It's an oft-repeated fact at this point. Yes, Genthalor used to be an elite area. Remember how I mentioned that Stromgarde was one of the harder elite zones? Stromgarde had nothing on Genthalor. Genthalor was a mess to go through, especially since you usually had to fight your way down once you were done, and then fight your way back up, and then fight your way back down, and you get the point. This place sucked to go through. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, Mind Blast. Alright, so we found the same thing we found earlier. We also got some pocket lint. Cool! Oh, and some idols of spiders. Stained with blood and venom. Odd. Yeah, being asked to run people through Genthalor was a fairly regular thing for me when we first moved over to the Horde, and that was the BC era. So I had my level 70, and I would just drag people through this area semi-frequently as they were leveling up. Probably not too hard, Jay. He'd probably heal it afterwards and feel bad about it. Maybe. Depends on if you're being a jerk about it. Like, we're just like, hey, hey, Zag. And he's like, ah. But if you're, like, you know, trying to intentionally disparage him, then, yeah, he might be a little upset about that. Have to admit, going down's a lot easier than going up. Pretty sure I have to go up one more time, too, which is a little like, ugh, really? Oh yeah, there's one Alliance quest that was here that isn't here for the Horde, and that's saving a particular griffin egg in the area. Just thought I'd mention that. Okay.
How you doing, man?
Did you find? Dead, all of them around the altar. And you found these spider idols. A mass sacrifice. They drew their lives to Shadra. Katonga told me of Shadra, the Venom Queen, Loa of spiders, worshipped in darkness. If the Vile Branch are performing rituals, I'm not gonna let them finish. Check the cave behind the altar. Deep within it, one of Shadra's keepers might still be lurking. Kill her! Take whatever she carries so we can know what's going on.
Stay away from the voodoo.
I have dinged twice in Jinthalor, and that's why most of my players wanted to do this place back in BC. As much as Jinthalor was kind of a pain to do, it was a lot of experience. And some decent loot, too. Hey, Benoth. To my knowledge, no Loa has been permanently killed, but a Loa being permanently killed is theoretically possible. Most Loa, when they are killed, basically lose their ability to cohese themselves and cease to function as an individual entity. It takes time, effort, and usually external power to resurrect them. To my knowledge, no Loa has ever resurrected itself. However, several Loa have been resurrected from dying by an outside source. Some Loa can also continue to exist within the spirit realm regardless of dying. We saw that in Zuldrak. So, I suppose that answers your question. I'm going to take a photo up top, by the way, Kazika. Assuming I remember to do so, which hopefully I will. Because I did just ding. This might be high enough. Yeah, one more level, one more level. Which one, Benoth? Yes, he does, Toby. Let's go take a picture here. Per level, Jay. Each ding gets a picture. Hey, how appropriate, the Felsteed. This is the Warlock class mount, by the way, if you're curious. There's a level 60 version as well, which is spikier. But for example, Hakar was resurrected by the Hakari first, and then the Gurubashi second. Wrong way. Cenarius was resurrected by the efforts of the the Cenarian Circle. Most of the other ancients in the battle for Mount Hydra were resurrected by the Cenarian Circle, and by I can't remember her name. But that one person, you know who I'm talking about, right? Alright, good, I'm glad. Yeah, yes I do, Kazika. I do have that mount. Must outrun the Draenei. Must get quest before her. Must not wait even longer. No, it's a Loa. Meter Madeira. I can't think of her name, though. Although Izera did actually resurrect a few people, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, jeez. Yeah, we got a bit of a competition. Well, time to ruin some people's day, because I need to get this quest done. I'm running out of time here. I hate to be a dick about it, but seriously. Let the tag wars be... Hang on. Well, I could group with him. If I could find the... There it is. There. It's Alliance versus Horde, like it should be. This way, at least that guy will get credit. Okay, so this is why I say respawn rates for quest mobs should never be that high. Because all it leads is to this. 4 players standing around waiting for this quest mob to respawn. 2 minutes on the outside should be the respawn timer. Probably closer to 1 minute, I'd say, as an average. And less, depending on how many people are currently in the zone. So, like, in these circumstances, I'd say probably... that would be, 41 second respawn timer right now. Sorry, I'm kind of not watching chat as much as I usually do, because I'm ready to tag, like, at a moment's notice. Fantasy staples? Got her. Sorry. Bam. Thank you. Come again. Leave party. What the heck are fantasy staples? I mean, there's non-human races. There's magic. There's weird stuff. What else is there? Things every fantasy story has. So, non-human races, weird stuff, and magic. Well, I don't trust any human being on this planet with magic other than myself, so that's a no. We already have enough problems uniting as a species without more species to deal with, so that's a no. So, weird stuff. Sure. Let's go with weird stuff. Although, actually, maybe adding, like, orcs or whatever would make it so that humans could finally ally again, with each other and stop killing each other over stupid reasons. What do you guys think?
Don't be shy.
Besuya search our body. I don't want any traps laid by the fire branch to be hidden by their deaths. The pots cat just keep us separated, I see. This is a ritual to summon Shadra. They must not have gotten far. It should be destroyed.
Bye-bye now.
Okay.
What would you ask of death?
We can't toss the tablet aside just yet, Despire. We can use it. You see, I'm quite taken with the venom of the spiders here. It's clearly magical, probably related to the spider god the trolls are involved with. And if that tablet will allow someone to summon it, well, you can see where this is going. The Horde can't pass up this opportunity. Take the tablet to my fellow Forsaken. They're to the west, at the research station of the Hiroatha ruins.
Remember, patience.
But unfortunately, your
discipline.
inventory is full. Is there a vendor here? Nope. Oh wait, she's a vendor.
What will you require?
You're a vendor. Quick, buy all my stuff. And if you do that, I will take your quest item to the Hiroatha research station.
Beware, our enemies abound.
Oh, there's the Alliance camp. Whoops, whoops. Sorry. Ah, God. And now I'm PvP flagged. Really? I'm PvP flagged for you attacking me? If that doesn't describe the Alliance in a nutshell, I don't know what does. The Alliance is like, hey, let's kill that man! Oh, he's PvP flagged. Kill him! We're going to attack you because we attacked you. Anyways, as much as I hate to do this, I don't have time to finish this zone today. So I'm going to go ahead and chop it off pretty much as soon as we reach Hiawatha. Tomorrow will be at least unless something changes in the schedule, will be a longer stream day than usual. So hopefully we'll make up the lost time there, which is good because I'd really like to get, at the very least, all of the Western Plaguelands done tomorrow, which is our next zone, by the way. I hope you're looking forward to that because the Western Plaguelands is freaking awesome. So... exactly, because you could. It's like, really? Really? That's how you're playing this? I mean, seriously? Good night, everyone. I suppose I'll just chop it off. I'll show off Hiawatha tomorrow. So, see you tomorrow, guys.